So in today's video, we're showing you how to style a pattern tie. On a recent video, we looked at the results of a poll we conducted asking about your favourite design for a pattern tie. And we had a few messages saying, could you do a deep dive into how to style all the different patterns and what occasions they work best for? So here it is, a complete deep dive into styling pattern ties. So I've started with the classic stripe tie. No tie wardrobe is complete without at least one stripe tie. It might be you have one from a club or old school tie, universities, regiments. It's such a classic look. The tool I've picked here today is this one here is a texture. I love texture in ties, and it elevates it from being quite conservative to being a little bit more playful. I love this with the cutaway collared shirts in the linen, the beautiful texture against the linen, and then the light grey jacket here, could be a suit. I could see this perhaps being worn for a wedding. It doesn't look too corporate, it looks a bit more playful, a bit more festive. This on the other hand, although it isn't a traditional regimental tie, has more of a nod towards it. So here it's been styled here with a blazer, but what I think elevates this from being too conservative is the very subtle check shirt. I think small scale checks with the bolder striped ties is a master stroke of styling. It's a really easy way of showing you're a confident dresser. Of course you could wear pale blue or a white shirt, but I think this is a bit more considered, and then a completely different design in a pocket square echoing the brown shade in the tie. So I think at first instance this is quite a conservative striped tie look, but when you look a bit deeper there's a lot going on. So I would consider this more of a conservative business look, particularly if it was combined with grey trousers and brown shoes. I guess after the striped tie, the spot tie is another perennial favourite. Very easy to style, add a little bit of pattern into your wardrobe, into your looks. Very easy for pattern matching. If I have a client who's not confident with mixing and matching patterns, I say start with a small spot and then grow out from there. This is really smart, easy to understand business dressing. You know, it's the mid-grey worsted suit, it's the discreet spot tie on a very conservative colour, on a cutaway collared shirt. Again, rather than just being pale blue, which would look perfectly fine, the very fine check with a spot is a cracking combination. And a little bit of flamboyance here with the pocket square. We folded it outwards so you can see the hand stitched edges, and the dark red matches perfectly with the spot. I even like how the white second border of the pocket square picks up the white of the spot. Limited colour palette, lots of different textures, lots of different patterns, lots of scales playing around with each other. Conservative, elegant, really well put together. The guy who's wearing this, I imagine, is wearing a really smart pair of polished black shoes. But spot ties aren't just for work. When you add a little bit of texture to it, like we have here in this beautiful sort of orange amber shades, it becomes much more of a festive look. This to me is a really smart, perhaps a wedding look, certainly an occasion look, less corporate. Lighter colours, summer shades, and my favourite chambray cutaway collared shirt. Modern, elegant, well put together. Still like this look here with a limited colour palette, but different textures and patterns in the pocket square, just bring it all together. The trousers here, if it's a summer event, I'll probably go maybe a bit of linen and some brown suede loafers. Paisley Park is in my heart. The classic repeat pattern with the lovely tear shape, absolute classic design. We kind of see it as a little bit old fashioned, but hopefully I've shown it here in a slightly more contemporary modern way. I did a great video recently on wearing paisley ties, which you'll find here. This is a lovely look. Slightly Italian, I guess, in a good way. Linen shirt, linen pocket square, linen mixed jacket, and this beautiful subtly textured paisley tie. Slightly tonal, the colour of the jacket is beautifully echoed in the tie. But just to break it up a little bit so it's not too matchy-matchy, I've thrown in a completely brighter white linen pocket square, which you could then pick out with an element below the waist. For trousers here, probably some slim leg chinos, maybe a dark red sock to pick out the pocket square, and loafers. But this would be a really lovely, perhaps you'd be invited to a wedding in the continent, perhaps France or Italy or Spain. Elegant, well put together, considered a real modern version of how to wear a paisley tie. Here, A little bit bolder, a bit more of a traditional paisley, bigger designs, a bit more pattern mixing here, using the very subtle small check shirt with a big pattern tie, just a bit more considered. And again, I've used a linen pocket square for a bit of punch, this time with the edges shown out. For the bottom half here, depends on the season. For high summer, you could go for white trousers. If it was more autumn, spring, probably a grey woofted, like a tropical woofted, and then some sort of, maybe some tassel loafers to finish it off. I guess this is a business look, but it's not a conservative office look. Possibly more for presentations, let's call it conference chic. So is a plain tie considered a pattern? That's an existential question, which we're not going to answer here. But for the purpose of this video, yes, texture is a pattern. We have this beautiful cashmere tie here, a lovely soft, light reflecting texture to it, very subtle, very elegant, very rich, very expensive looking. And it's a perfect foil for this slightly OTT sports jacket. The blue in the jacket is obviously tempered by the blue in the tie, and the pink just kind of tones in beautifully. So having a plain tie, albeit with a good texture, affords you to have a bit of fun with pattern. Love this, love this. I think it's a little bit of a nod towards Casino, and I think I've referenced that before, one of my favourite films, very cool, slightly edgy. This is a jacket you're going to wear when you just want to be noticed. This isn't a jacket to blend in. So for whatever reason, perhaps you're going to your ex-wife's second wedding, you turn up for the evening only because that's where you got invited to, you wear this just to look at yourself. I'd wear this with some white trousers, some very expensive shoes, and a lot of attitude. And regarding a plain as a pattern, the shantung is a perfect example of that. I love these ties. Probably in a lot of videos recently, I'm probably wearing this one. It's my absolute favourite. It goes with everything from navy to grey, just a perfect tie for everything. And here, there's not much pattern going on, but it's screaming texture. You've got this beautiful jacket in a blend, lots of depth. You've got blues and whites blended together. My absolute favourite chambray shirt. 3 plains, a lot of attitude, a lot of colour blended in. It's really, really interesting. The only pattern you've really got here is this fantastic pocket square that brings it all together, adds a bit of attitude. Again, perfect for a wedding, summer wedding. I'd pair this with some very neutral, either go dark navy, maybe in a mohair, something really sharp, or go the other way and go maybe dove grey or cream. But certainly plain, certainly crisp, really, really razor sharp creases down the front, and some beautifully polished loafers. Now looking at the classic repeat. Now repeat ties cover a wide range of styles, other than spot stripes, plains, checks, any design, even probably paisley could come into it. But we have 2 absolute classic examples here, starting with medallion. I love a medallion print tie. When I was back in menswear in the early 90s, it was a core design. I love it's been brought back in a slightly more updated way with its lovely texture. Again, it's the classic rules of tie matching. I love the red on the pink shirt, and then the blues of the motif echoed perfectly in the jacket. This is a great, smart, casual, I say probably more smart than casual. It could be a non-conservative business environment. You could wear this. It's certainly a sports jacket rather than a suit. Wear it with some dark navy trousers. Really good, smart dressing. I love how the pocket square here echoes the paler colours in the jacket and also in the tie. And for our second look, this is a very old-fashioned design, but it looks very contemporary. A lot of my more fashion-forward customers are really going back to these older classic designs in updated colours, very luxurious looking. I love the sort of the olivey green background colour, perfectly echoing in the overcheck in the plaid jacket. Lots of pattern going on here. You've got the checks, you've got stripes, and then the pattern here just draws it all together. Very, very sophisticated. I would again wear this with plain coloured trousers, probably a mid-grey tropical woofted, definitely a brown coloured shoe, echoing the brown shades in the pocket square. Very elegant, very well put together. Kind of like an Englishman abroad. I think if you're an Englishman and you had to go over to the continent to do some business, this is kind of a jacket and shirt I think you would wear showing that you're sophisticated but still keeping your English roots. And with these two great outfits, you've got my absolute favourite style of tie, fine checks. My tie collection is probably disproportionately filled with very small houndstooths, Glen checks, shepherd's checks. They've got that real lovely 1930s kind of Fred Astaire feel about them, and they've just got like bring a bit of old world elegance to modern outfits. This is a great one, red and white puppy tooth, striped shirt, this fantastic double-breasted jacket. Kind of says dressed up, says occasion, very elegant, very old school. I'd see this with a pair of maybe gabardine trousers, something a little bit flowing, a bit wider, lots of pleats, maybe some two-tone shoes, a little bit of swagger about it, that all sort of like 1930s jazz age about it. And this is one of the looks I've been wearing myself for years. The odd linen waistcoat with your lounge suit just adds a little bit of glamour to a simple outfit of pale blue shirt and simple tie. This would be perfect for a summer garden party. Outside, it's the summer, you're drinking a cocktail, linen waistcoat, the very discreet repeat pattern tie, lovely little diamond checks. Yeah, so elegant, so old school, but still looks so contemporary. For trousers, I would probably wear this as a suit, again, with some sort of mid-tone shoes, maybe a bright sock. Well, I really enjoyed making that video, going through all the different styles of ties available, how to style them. Hope I've inspired you perhaps to try something different. If you're typically wearing spot ties, maybe try a stripe. If you only wear repeat patterns, you're wearing a paisley. Have fun with ties, it's a real chance to show your personality. As always, put any comments you have below and hit that subscribe button.